Welcome to Biography with Plutarch, where we embark on a fascinating journey into the lives of extraordinary individuals to uncover the intricacies of human character. Today, we delve into the captivating world of Marcel Proust, the renowned French novelist and masterful weaver of words, whose monumental work, In Search of Lost Time, would eventually captivate readers worldwide with its profound insights into the human experience. Born on July 10, 1871, in Auteuil, a charming suburb of Paris, Marcel Proust entered the world amidst the tumultuous aftermath of the Franco-Prussian War. The sound of cannons still echoed through the streets, and the smell of smoke lingered in the air as the city struggled to rebuild itself. The Prousts were a middle-class family with a strong emphasis on education and culture, values that would profoundly influence Marcel's future and shape the unique voice that would eventually resonate with readers worldwide. As a child, Marcel suffered from asthma, an affliction that would accompany him throughout his life, often dictating his routines and influencing his perceptions of the world. This vulnerability fostered in him a deep sensitivity and an intense appreciation for the fleeting moments of beauty and joy that life afforded. He would spend hours gazing out of the window, watching the clouds drift lazily by, and listening to the sounds of nature, which became a source of comfort and inspiration. His health issues also led to prolonged periods of solitude, during which he developed a profound love for reading and writing. The musty smell of old books, the feel of parchment between his fingers, and the sound of scratching quills on paper would become an integral part of his sensory landscape. Marcel's early education took place at home, due to his fragile health, under the watchful eyes of his parents, Adrien and Jean Proust. His father, a prominent physician and professor of hygiene, was a man of science with a passion for literature, who would often regale Marcel with stories of the great writers and thinkers of the past. His mother came from a Jewish family with a strong background in finance and culture, who instilled in Marcel a deep appreciation for the arts and a strong sense of tradition. This blend of intellectual curiosity, artistic appreciation, and practical sensibility created a nurturing environment that encouraged Marcel's creative inclinations. The Proust household was filled with lively discussions, debates, and readings, which stimulated Marcel's mind and fostered his love for learning. As he grew older, Marcel began to attend the Lycée Condorcet in Paris, where he befriended Jacques Bizet, son of the composer Georges Bizet, among other notable figures. These friendships introduced him to the vibrant cultural scene of late 19th century Paris, exposing him to opera, literature, and art, which became the cornerstones of his intellectual and aesthetic pursuits. He would spend hours exploring the city's museums, galleries, and theaters, soaking up the sounds, sights, and smells of the bustling metropolis. The works of Charles Baudelaire, Gustave Flaubert, and Honoré de Balzac would become his constant companions, influencing his writing style and shaping his literary vision. The summers Marcel spent in Iliers at his great-uncle's house were particularly formative. The rolling countryside, with its orchards, fields, and rivers, provided a serene backdrop against which he could daydream and explore his imagination. He would spend hours wandering through the gardens, watching the flowers bloom, and listening to the songs of the birds. These idyllic settings would later serve as the inspiration for the fictional town of Cambrai in Search of Lost Time, where the narrator's journey begins. The memories of these carefree summers, filled with laughter, love, and adventure, would become an integral part of Marcel's literary landscape. The late 19th century was a period of significant cultural and intellectual transformation in France, marked by the rise of Impressionism in art, symbolism in literature, and groundbreaking scientific discoveries. Marcel Proust, with his curious mind and artistic inclinations, was poised to absorb these influences, eventually contributing his unique voice to this rich tapestry. He would attend salons and gatherings, where he would meet the likes of James Joyce, Virginia Woolf, and other literary luminaries, engaging in lively debates and discussions that would shape his writing style and broaden his intellectual horizons. His struggles with health, his love for literature, and his exposure to the cultural vibrancy of Paris all played their part in shaping a character that would one day captivate readers with its depth and complexity. The fragments of his memories, the whispers of his heart, and the observations of his mind were slowly coming together to form the intricate tapestry of his literary style. In these formative years, Marcel Proust was not just living, he was observing, reflecting, and weaving the intricate web of experiences that would become the hallmark of his literary style. The world around him, with all its beauty and impermanence, was becoming a canvas on which he would paint his masterpiece, a work that would seek to capture time itself in all its elusive and haunting beauty. He would often attend salons and gatherings hosted by prominent figures such as Charles Haas and Madame Strauss, who resided in grand townhouses with opulent interiors that seemed to whisper secrets of the past. It was during this period that he began to develop a deep appreciation for the works of John Ruskin, whose writings on art and architecture would later influence Proust's own literary style, like a master key unlocking the doors to hidden chambers of perception. In 1895, Proust started writing for the journal Le Mensuel, where he published a series of articles on art, literature, and culture, showcasing his growing expertise and unique perspective. His words danced across the page, weaving together threads of insight and observation that would eventually form the intricate tapestry of his literary masterpiece. As he sat at his desk, pen in hand, he felt the weight of his thoughts slowly taking shape, like a sculptor coaxing a figure from the marble. One notable example of Proust's early literary endeavors is his unpublished novel, Jean Santeuil, which he worked on intermittently between 1895 and 1900. Although the manuscript was never completed, it reveals a nascent talent for storytelling and character development, as well as a fascination with themes that would become hallmarks of his later work, such as memory, time, and the human experience. As Proust delved deeper into his writing, he began to realize that the boundaries between reality and fiction were far more fluid than he had initially imagined. He became increasingly obsessed with the concept of memory, which he saw as a mysterious and mercurial force, capable of both revealing and distorting the truth. As he once observed, the only true memory is the memory of the heart, a sentiment that would echo throughout his subsequent writings like a refrain. This notion led him to explore the inner workings of his own mind, where memories long forgotten lay hidden, waiting to be unearthed and transformed into the raw material of his art. In 1900, Proust's father, Adrien Proust, passed away, leaving Marcel with a significant inheritance and the freedom to pursue his literary ambitions without financial constraint. This newfound independence allowed him to devote himself fully to his writing, and he began working on a series of short stories and essays that would eventually be published in the journal La Revue Blanche. As he settled into his routine, Proust's days became a gentle blur of reading, writing, and observing the world around him, like a painter mixing colors on his palette to create the perfect hue. It was during this period that Proust also started to develop his iconic narrative voice, characterized by its unique blend of lyricism, introspection, and philosophical insight. The year 1906 marked a significant turning point in Proust's career as he began working on his magnum opus, In Search of Lost Time. Over the next decade, he would pour his heart and soul into this sprawling masterpiece, which would eventually comprise 7 volumes and over 3,200 pages. As he worked tirelessly to bring his vision to life, Proust became increasingly reclusive, preferring the solitude of his cork-lined bedroom to the social whirlwind of Parisian high society. His room, with its walls lined with sound-absorbing cork and its single narrow window, became a sanctuary, a place where he could retreat from the world and immerse himself in the labyrinthine corridors of his own mind. And yet, despite his physical isolation, his writing remained deeply rooted in the world around him, drawing inspiration from the city's streets, cafes, and salons, as well as the people and experiences that had shaped his life. As the first volume of In Search of Lost Time, Swann's Way, began to take shape, Proust's unique narrative style started to emerge, with its innovative use of nonlinear storytelling, free indirect discourse, and meticulous attention to detail. The famous opening sentence, "For a long time, I went to bed early," sets the tone for the entire work, drawing the reader into a world of memories, reflections, and observations that would unfold over the course of the novel like a richly woven tapestry. With each successive volume, Proust's mastery of his craft grew, as he wove together themes of love, loss, art, and identity, creating a rich landscape of human experience that continues to captivate readers to this day. Throughout the 1910s, Proust's literary reputation began to grow, with critics and writers such as André Gide and James Joyce taking notice of his innovative style and profound insights. Although he faced numerous challenges and setbacks during this period, including the onset of World War I and a series of personal tragedies, Proust remained committed to his art, driven by a fierce dedication to his vision and a passion for the written word. As he once wrote, "The real act of discovery consists not in finding new lands, but in seeing with new eyes," a sentiment that encapsulates the essence of his literary project and the enduring power of his work. Like an alchemist transmuting base metals into gold, Proust transformed the raw materials of his life, memories, experiences, observations, into a masterpiece that would transcend time and touch the hearts of readers for generations to come. As the years passed, Marcel Proust's health continued to decline with a relentless pace, his frail body weakened by the unyielding grip of asthma and pneumonia. Despite his physical limitations, his mind remained sharp as a razor's edge, cutting through the complexities of human experience with unwavering precision. Confined to his apartment on the Boulevard Haussmann, Proust worked tirelessly, fueled by an unrelenting passion for his craft, to complete his magnum opus, In Search of Lost Time. As he sat at his desk, surrounded by the familiar comforts of his cork-lined bedroom, Proust's thoughts wandered back to the memories that had shaped his life and informed his writing. The memories of his childhood summers, spent in Illiers, the vibrant colors of the French countryside, and the tender moments with his mother all swirled together in a rich tapestry of recollection. It was this deep understanding of human emotion, this ability to tap into the innermost recesses of the heart, that had resonated with readers and cemented his place in literary history. As he once said, "The only true memory is the memory of the heart," and it was this profound insight that had guided him throughout his writing career. In the last years of his life, Proust received numerous accolades for his work, including the Prix Goncourt, one of France's most prestigious literary awards. The news of his win sent shockwaves through Parisian society, with many hailing him as a genius and a master of modernist literature. His writing had finally gained widespread recognition, and he was feted by critics and writers around the world. The likes of James Joyce, Virginia Woolf, and André Gide all sang his praises, recognizing in Proust a kindred spirit who had pushed the boundaries of narrative and explored the human condition with unparalleled depth and nuance. Despite the many challenges he faced, including poverty, illness, and personal loss, Proust remained steadfast in his vision, pouring his heart and soul into his writing. His brother, Robert, and his loyal housekeeper, Celeste Albaret, were constant sources of support and comfort, providing a sense of stability and normalcy in an otherwise chaotic world. Celeste, in particular, played a vital role in Proust's life, managing the household, typing his manuscripts, and offering a listening ear when he needed it most. Her devotion to Proust was unwavering, and she remained by his side until the very end. Proust's death on November 18, 1922, at the age of 51, was a tragic loss for the literary world. He died from complications related to pneumonia, surrounded by Robert and Celeste, who had been his rock in the final years of his life. The news of his passing sent shockwaves through Parisian society, with friends, family, and fans alike mourning the loss of a genius. The French writer and critic, André Gide, summed up the sentiment of the literary world when he said, "Proust's death is a catastrophe, a disaster that will be felt for generations to come." Today, Marcel Proust is remembered as one of the most important writers of the 20th century, a master of modernist literature who pushed the boundaries of narrative and explored the human condition with unparalleled depth and nuance. His work continues to influence writers, artists, and thinkers around the world, from the films of Jean-Luc Godard to the novels of Samuel Beckett. The likes of Martin Amis, Don DeLillo, and Michael Ondaatje have all cited Proust as a major influence, recognizing in him a kindred spirit who had explored the complexities of time, memory, and identity with unflinching honesty. Proust's impact on modern culture is immeasurable. His innovative use of nonlinear narrative, his exploration of themes such as time, memory, and identity, and his meticulous attention to detail, all becoming hallmarks of literary innovation. His writing has inspired generations of creatives to see the world anew, to explore the inner recesses of the human experience, and to push the boundaries of artistic expression. As he so eloquently put it, the real act of discovery consists not in finding new lands, but in seeing with new eyes. And it is this profound insight that has inspired writers, artists, and thinkers to explore new modes of expression and to challenge the status quo. Despite the many challenges he faced, Proust remained steadfast in his vision, pouring his heart and soul into his writing and leaving behind a body of work that continues to inspire, educate, and delight us to this day. In the end, Proust's legacy extends far beyond the literary realm, speaking to something fundamental about the human condition. That's all for today's Biography with Plutarch. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, remember that understanding the lives of remarkable individuals helps us better understand ourselves.